Nietzsche once said that every great man is a creator of values. Machiavelli revealed that true power never announces itself, and Marcus Aurelius, through battles and stillness, wrote a truth that most modern men can no longer grasp. Authentic masculine worth does not come from what you own, but from what you quietly embody. Throughout history, the brightest minds understood something most men never will, that there is an invisible code, a set of unwritten laws that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. While most men desperately chase validation, recognition, and acceptance, high-value men walk a different path. They master their inner world before exerting influence over the outer one. They cultivate a presence that demands respect without ever having to ask for it. Have you ever wondered why some provocations crush you while others seem to leave people unfazed? The answer lies in one of the greatest secrets, inner mastery. The Stoics knew this. Your strength doesn't come from controlling the external world, but from conquering the world inside you. The greatest empire is to rule over yourself, said Seneca. Before you can lead others or shape circumstances, you must first command your own mind. Law 1. The law of inner sovereignty. Every time you allow random opinions to ruin your day, you hand the keys to your peace over to strangers. Most men live as prisoners of outside validation, constantly changing course based on external applause or criticism. Inner sovereignty is emotional independence. It's the power to define your own worth, no matter how loud the crowd gets. Start by identifying where judgment still controls you, your appearance, financial status, achievements. Then ask, if no one ever knew about this, would it still matter to me? That one question separates real values from social performance. Law 2. The law of emotional self-sufficiency. Did you know the fastest way to lose respect is by constantly needing approval? Watch closely. The men most admired are usually the ones who need admiration the least. Marcus Aurelius advised, search within yourself. The well of good never dries. Emotional self-sufficiency doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means your wholeness doesn't depend on others liking you. Test this law by silently celebrating your wins without posting them. When criticized, say, thanks for the perspective. Extract the useful, discard the rest. True freedom begins the moment neither praise nor criticism can alter your direction. Law 3. The law of unshakable self-discipline. If you only master one law, let it be this. Self-discipline is the force multiplier that turns good intentions into real outcomes. Without it, even the most talented man remains average. Epictetus, once a slave, became a Stoic legend. He said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Your impulses are invisible chains. Until you break them, they will quietly rule you. Start small. Choose one habit that sabotages you. Procrastination, distractions, unhealthy food. Then create a simple daily ritual to counter it. Just 5 minutes a day. Don't aim for intensity. Aim for consistency. Discipline is a muscle. Use it daily and it grows. Law 4. The law of magnetic presence. You've seen it. Some men walk into a room and everything shifts. It's not money. It's not looks. It's not status. It's something deeper. Something still. Sun Tzu called it the supreme art of war, to subdue the enemy without a fight. Stop entering spaces trying to prove your value. The need to be noticed is often what makes you invisible. Magnetic presence isn't about performance. It's about full embodiment. Be fully where you are. Slow down your pace. Make eye contact without aggression or submission. Breathe from your diaphragm. Own your space. When others rush, you become the fixed point, the still one, the man with gravity. Law 5. The law of strategic silence. Every time you fill the air with unnecessary words, you dilute your power. Excess talking is often a sign of insecurity, not authority. As Schopenhauer noted, even a fool is thought wise if he remains silent. The man who speaks compulsively reveals more weakness than intention. Strategic silence creates a vacuum others rush to fill, often with truths they wouldn't otherwise reveal. Apply the 80-20 rule in conversations. Listen 80%, speak only 20%. Before speaking, ask yourself, will this increase my value or expose my insecurity? And when asked something sensitive, pause. The man with real convictions doesn't fear a moment of silence. Law 6. The law of deliberate containment. You want to know why your achievements don't get the recognition they deserve? Because you've probably been wasting your energy through over-explaining and unnecessary justifications. The Japanese call it hara, the ability to contain energy instead of dispersing it. Machiavelli warned, never try to win with force what can be won with patience. Containment is strength. The man who constantly explains himself often reveals a hidden need for approval, and that weakens his position. Practice this law by reviewing your recent conversations. How many times did you justify a decision no one even questioned? Stop volunteering explanations. Speak with clear, economical intent. Your calm conviction will say more than your words ever could. Law 7. The law of selective attention. You feel tired, even after a full night of sleep. The problem isn't a lack of energy, it's how you spend it. Modern men live in a state of chronic energetic deficit, not because they produce a little vitality, but because they scatter it in 1,000 directions. Every moment you waste on low-value distractions, mindless scrolling, empty conversations, noise, you bleed power. Your attention is your life force. Protect it like gold. Conduct an attention audit. Track where your focus goes for 1 week. Identify the vampires, notifications, interruptions, habits, people. Eliminate the lowest value ones without mercy. Then, set sacred focus blocks. Start with 30 minutes a day. No phone, no distractions. No noise. What you focus on becomes who you are. Law 8. The law of limited availability. The more available you are to everyone, the less valuable you become to anyone. It's a brutal truth, and most nice guys run from it. Robert Cialdini proved it. Scarcity amplifies perceived value. If you're always online, replying instantly, always free to help, you communicate that your time isn't worth much. Flip the script. Create boundaries. Set specific hours for communication. Let people know, I'm not available now, but I can give this full attention on Thursday at 3 p.m. Paradoxically, by protecting your time, you become more respected. Inaccessibility, when earned, is power. Law 9. The law of strategic investment. Most men don't fail because of laziness. They fail from scattered energy. You hustle, you try, you push, but nothing moves. Why? Because effort alone isn't enough. You need aim effort. Vilfredo Pareto revealed a universal principle. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions. Apply this in every area. In your career, which few tasks actually create success? In your health, which few habits move the needle? In relationships, which people genuinely elevate you? Now, invest disproportionately. Double down on what works. Ruthlessly cut what doesn't. Because greatness isn't built by doing more. It's built by doing less, but better. Law 10. The law of invisible influence. Forget persuasion. Forget arguments. The most powerful influence is silent. You don't move people with pressure. You guide them with presence. Robert Greene said it best. The best seduction is done without words. Real influence comes when others believe the idea was theirs. So instead of declaring, ask. Instead of convincing, plant conditions. Let your questions guide them. Let your energy lead them. You'll know you've mastered this law when people act on your ideas and believe they came up with them. Law 11. The law of strategic association. Who you spend time with determines who you become. Jim Rohn said, you rate the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look around. Your circle. Is it pushing you forward or holding you down? Are you surrounded by energy or excuses, growth or gossip? Build your environment like an empire. Audit your circle. Rate it honestly, elevating or draining, empowering or limiting. Then go further. Become a connector. Create bridges between valuable people. That's where real leverage lies. When you build a strong network, you stop needing to chase opportunity. Opportunity starts chasing you. Law 12. The law of high-level detachment. The more desperately you chase something, the more it runs from you. Desperation is repellent. Detachment is magnetic. Here's the paradox. You must commit deeply to your process while releasing emotional dependence on the outcome. In negotiations, be willing to walk away. In relationships, give with presence, not expectation. In projects, do the work fully and then let go. The moment you stop needing to win is the moment you become unstoppable. Remember, you have the right to the labor, not the result. Focus on the labor. Watch the results multiply. Law 13. The law of physical dominance. Before you say a single word, your body already spoke volumes. Your posture, your movement, your stillness. These shape how the world sees you and how you see yourself. Amy Cuttier's studies proved it. Just 2 minutes of expansive posture increased testosterone and lower cortisol. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin level. Move slowly, move deliberately. Eliminate nervous tics, fidgeting, twitching. Adjusting your clothes. Practice power poses in private. Walk into rooms like you belong, because You do. Your body doesn't just reflect your mind, it programs it. Law 14, the law of unshakable calm in chaos. The calm man becomes king. When others panic, you breathe. When tension rises, you remain still. Calm is a signal. It says, I've seen worse. I am not shaken. Train this. Practice deep breathing. Diaphragmatic, slow. Control your facial expression. Maintain neutrality or slight positivity under pressure. The calmer you appear, the more control others believe you have. In stress, become the gravity everyone orbits. Still, solid, stable. Law 20, the law of calibrated eloquence. The same words don't work on everyone. True influence requires calibration, tailoring your delivery to your listener. Aristotle described 3 persuasion pillars: logos logic, pathos emotion, ethos credibility. Some people want numbers, others want stories, others want proof you live what you say. Before you speak, ask, what kind of listener is this? Match your rhythm, slow down for reflectives, speed up for drivers. Don't speak to impress, speak to connect. The best communicators don't sound smart, they make you feel understood. Law 21, the law of eloquent silence. The most powerful sentence is a pause. A well-timed silence builds tension, authority, anticipation. Harold Piner, a Nobel-winning playwright, was famous for his pauses. They said more than his dialogue. Use this. Pause before answering. Pause after powerful statements. Let them echo. Don't fear the void. Own it. Silence is a frame, and what you don't say often speaks louder than what you do. Law 22, the law of superior detachment. What you obsess over controls you. Every emotional attachment becomes a button, and anyone can push it. Superior detachment is not coldness, it's freedom. Freedom to love fully without being enslaved by the outcome. Freedom to commit deeply without breaking when things shift. If you meet the Buddha on the road, said a Zen koan, kill him. Even noble attachments can become prisons. Invest deeply, but release control. Let go and watch your power return. Law 23, the law of inner stability. If your peace depends on everything going right, you'll never be at peace. True stability doesn't mean absence of chaos. It means calm within chaos. The Stoics called it ataraxia, unshakable tranquility. Epictetus wrote, no storm can disturb a man at peace with himself. Stability is a choice. Control what you can, accept what you can't, act without being acted upon. Be the eye of the storm. Law 24, the law of effective self-reliance. The need to be constantly loved, admired, or validated makes you a psychological subordinate. Carl Jung said, loneliness doesn't come from being alone. It comes from being unable to express what matters. Learn to enjoy your own company. Celebrate your wins before anyone else does. Process your emotions internally before externalizing them. A man who needs constant emotional rescue reveals dependence, not power. Self-reliance is not solitude, it's sovereignty. Law 25, the law of natural authority. Power can be granted. Authority must be earned. Title and rank impress no one if your character doesn't match. Marcus Aurelius knew this. If it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Natural authority flows from alignment. Your words, your actions, your values. People trust you, not because of what you claim, but because of what you are. Lead by example. Speak last. Act first. Because when your presence reflects integrity, your silence holds more command than another man's speech. Law 26, the law of ascending influence. Weak men compete with their peers. Strong men elevate them. You don't lose power by lifting others, you amplify it. Most men in authority suppress those below them, afraid to be outshined. But the wise man knows your greatness is multiplied when others rise through you. Become a ladder builder. Spot potential. Encourage growth. Make connections that benefit others, even when you gain nothing directly. As John Holmes said, there is no better exercise for the heart than reaching down and lifting someone up. The man who invests in the growth of others becomes irreplaceable. Law 27, the law of silent legacy. True leaders don't leave noise. They leave echoes. A legacy isn't a monument. It's a ripple that continues after you're gone. Seneca wrote, time destroys works of vanity, but magnifies those of virtue. Ask yourself, if you disappeared today, what would still move because of you? What systems, values, behaviors, or people would carry your fingerprints? Don't chase credit. Chase impact, because a silent legacy speaks louder than a lifetime of self-promotion. Law 28, the law of expansive vision, most men live trapped in short-term thinking, chasing tiny goals, bound by immediate gratification, but men of consequence stretch their vision beyond the now. Nikola Tesla dreamed of electrifying the planet before most homes had bulbs. Think bigger. Craft your 100-year vision. Ask, what change do I want to leave that outlives me? The broader your vision, the more meaningful your present becomes. Small missions crumble under pressure. Expansive visions turn daily struggle into sacred steps. Law 29. The law of decision alignment. It is not one big decision that makes or breaks you. It is thousands of small, daily ones. Extraordinary lives aren't built by chance. They're built by alignment. Steve Jobs said, focusing is about saying no. Before you commit time or energy, ask, does this serve my highest purpose? Create a weekly ritual. Review where your energy went. Were your choices aligned with who you say you are? Because small misalignments today become major regrets tomorrow. Law 30. The law of total congruence. If your words say one thing and your actions another, you'll lose respect faster than any failure. Nothing destroys trust like inconsistency. Gandhi once said, happiness is when what you think, what you say, and what you do are in harmony. Take inventory. What are the values you claim? Now compare them to your daily actions. Where are you out of sync? Fix the obvious contradictions first, because people notice them before you do. Congruence is not perfection. It's consistent course correction. Law 31. The law of iron integrity. Every promise broken, every truth bent, silently erodes your reputation. In a world of loose words, the man whose word is final becomes mythic. Warren Buffett warned, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and 5 minutes to ruin it. So make fewer promises, only what you can guarantee. Say I'll check and get back to you instead of guessing. Practice the art of under-promise, over-deliver. Integrity isn't abstract. It's built in the small moments when no one is watching, and you still choose the hard right over the easy wrong. Law 32. The law of the unbreakable word. Your word should be as solid as written contracts, if not more. Marcus Aurelius taught, if it's not right, don't do it. If it's not true, don't say it. Every time you honor your word under pressure, you become unforgettable. Every time you flinch, you fade. Before you commit verbally, pause. Treat every promise like a legal bond, not just social fluff. Over time, people will trust you with more than money. They'll trust you with responsibility. And that, in the hands of the right man, changes the world. Law 33. The law of continuous congruence. Yes, congruence appears again because it's the core of sustained power. You can build respect. You can build influence. But if you lack congruence, it all collapses. Bob Marley put it plainly, the greatness of a man is not in how much wealth he acquires, but in his integrity and ability to affect those around him positively. Review often. Are you becoming the man you claim to be, or just performing him? Catch yourself when you drift. Return. Real congruence is a daily act, not a static trait. Law 34. The law of silent mastery. The loudest men are often the least competent. True masters don't need to prove. Their results speak. Bruce Lee said, knowledge will give you power, but character will give you respect. Hone your craft in private. Sharpen your edge away from praise. Follow the 5-to-1 principle. For every public display of skill, spend 5 times more in silent refinement. Don't seek applause, seek depth, because the deeper your roots, the taller you grow, and the less you shake. Law 35. The law of quiet excellence. Amateurs aim for fast results. Professionals aim for high standards. Quiet excellence isn't perfectionism, it's pride in surpassing what's expected. Michelangelo once said, the greater danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. Raise your personal standard 20% above the norm. Polish the invisible details. Master what no one else pays attention to. You'll begin to shine, even when no one's watching. Law 36. The law of impeccable performance. Forget brilliance. The real separator is reliability. Men of value don't just shine occasionally, they deliver. Consistently, even under pressure, even when tired, even when no one is watching. Stephen King said, amateurs wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. Impeccable performance isn't about perfection. It's about predictable excellence. Create systems. Build checklists. Train under pressure. You rise not when conditions are ideal, but when you can. Perform regardless of them. Law 37. The law of strategic presence. The more you show up, the more you're taken for granted. Be seen too much, and you become background noise. But if your appearances are deliberate, rare, purposeful, sharp, you become unforgettable. Don't always be available. Don't overshare. Don't explain your every move. Let your silence build curiosity. Let your presence create weight. Be like thunder, infrequent, but impossible to ignore. Law 38, the law of narrative control. If you don't tell your story, someone else will. The man who doesn't shape how he is perceived becomes a passive character in someone else's version of his life. You don't need to fabricate, but you must edit. Highlight what matters. Omit what dilutes. People don't remember facts. They remember the feeling your story gave them. Speak with intention. Move with clarity. Create a personal narrative that aligns with your mission and stick to it. Law 39. The law of stability in crisis. Anyone can be calm when life is easy. But when the room is on fire, when chaos erupts, the calm man becomes the leader. Train yourself to hold stillness under fire. Practice staying composed under emotional pressure. Maintain slow breath, controlled movement, steady tone. Sun Tzu said, in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity, but only calm eyes can see. Law 40. The law of discomfort tolerance. The size of your life is directly linked to your ability to endure discomfort. Most men shape their entire existence to avoid pain. Great men chase it. Strategically, Marcus Aurelius wrote, the impediment to action advances. Action, what stands in the way becomes the way. Start small. Cold showers. Silence. Difficult. Conversations. Train your nervous system to handle more. What others avoid becomes your advantage. Law 41. The law of composure. Mastery. Outward expression reveals inward command. Control your face, your posture, your tone, especially under stress. When everyone around you is losing their heads, you remain composed and the world takes note. Create a 3-second reset ritual. Pause, breathe, adjust. Command yourself, and you begin to command the room. Law 42. The law of response over reaction. Most men live in reaction mode, triggered by events, ruled by emotion. The powerful man creates space between stimulus and action. Viktor Frankl said, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space lies our power and freedom. Breathe. Ask, is this response worthy of who I'm becoming? Then act with precision, not impulse. The man who chooses his response chooses his destiny. Law 43. The law of total responsibility. Take ownership for everything, even what wasn't your fault. Why? Because responsibility is power. The moment you blame the economy, your past, your family, you give them control. Replace I can't with I haven't yet. Replace I have to with I choose to. Reclaim your agency. Because the man who owns it all owns the ability to change it all. Law 44. The law of comfort. Rejection. Comfort is the invisible cage that keeps great men average. You weren't made for endless pleasure and safety. You were built to evolve, and evolution begins at the edge of discomfort. Nassim Taleb said, the antifragile thrives on randomness and disorder. Schedule discomfort. Pursue it. When you hesitate, lean in. The more discomfort you can hold, the more power you can command. Law 45. The law of criticism. Alchemy. Most men collapse under criticism, but the wise man transforms it. Ray Dalio called it pain plus reflection equals progress. Train your mind. When feedback hurts, say thank you, then mine it for value. Discard the insult. Keep the insight. Criticism isn't a threat. It's raw data. Use it. Upgrade yourself. Every jab can sharpen your blade if you let it. Law 46. The law of hidden depth. What's fully exposed becomes boring. What's layered becomes magnetic. Don't reveal everything at once. Maintain depth. Let people earn access. Carl Jung called it the persona, the mask we show the world. But behind it lies your power, your soul. Reveal it in layers. With timing, mystery sustains interest. Guard it and become unforgettable. Law 47. The law of reserve capacity. Don't show your full hand. Always keep something in reserve. A skill, a strength, a move no one expects. Sun Tzu said, feign inferiority and encourage arrogance. Hold back, not to deceive, but to dominate strategically. Reveal brilliance only when it matters. Because the man who keeps his highest gear hidden always has the final move. Law 48. The law of consistent unpredictability. Predictability is safe, but predictability is also forgettable. Keep your values rock solid, but let your method surprise. Richard Branson said, you don't learn to walk by following rules. You learn by doing and by falling. Be reliable in character, but inconsistent in execution Add creative chaos. Break your own patterns. Become a puzzle that keeps evolving, and no one will stop watching. Now you've heard them. The 48 laws of power, character, and masculine mastery. These are not just ideas. They are weapons. Tools. Codes. Each one, if embodied, will carve a new version of you. Quieter, sharper, stronger. The kind of man who no longer needs validation because his path is clear. The kind of man others instinctively respect because his energy speaks before his mouth does. But knowledge alone isn't transformation. It's in the rituals, in the decisions, in the moments where you choose discomfort over ease, vision over vanity, discipline over impulse. You are not meant to blend in. You are meant to build. To lead, to move through the world as a force of gravity, not noise. Don't let this just inspire you. Let it arm you. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more men who lead themselves.